I okay. Let me just stop girling because girl. So, how about this? We start out with you sharing who you are and a little bit about your just involvement with the National Stuttering Association.
Okay, perfect. Hi everyone, my name is Hayley Stuckey. I'm so happy to be on this podcast today. Thank you for having me, Samantha. Um, I'm 16 years old. I'm a junior in high school, and I currently reside in Katy, Texas. I play on my high school's varsity tennis team, and I was district champion last year. I was district runner-up the year before that, and this year my team made it all the way to the regional quarterfinals. I'm also involved in FCCLA Best Buddies, and I was on the Bay team freshman year. I'm also the president of my high school stuttering awareness club. We call ourselves the Siblings High School Stuttering Alliance. I'm also the president of the online Zoom group Empowering Girls who who stutter, and we um, host monthly meetings, and I'm one of the leaders. I'm also an assistant coach at Athens Academy. I wake up every morning at 4:30 and attend Bible study before school, and I am a youth camp leader at a Christian camp. In my free time, I enjoy traveling, hanging out with my friends, sewing, running, watching Hallmark movies, playing tennis, and my favorite class right now is US history. When I'm older, I would like to attend Brigham Young University and study communication disorders and early childhood development in hopes of becoming a speech therapist for the American Institute for for stuttering and or opening my own private practice one day. Being part of NSA and the stuttering community means everything to me. Ever since I was little, all I wanted was to be able to speak like everyone else. For years, I went to several doctors and therapists, but no technique or strategy was helping. And all it taught me that the way I spoke was wrong and it was something I had to fix. This negative reinforcement crushed my self-esteem, and for many years, I didn't want to talk because I was afraid of what people thought about me, and I didn't want to accept that I was a person who stuttered. I couldn't understand why something that seemed so effortless and easy was so difficult for me. Throughout elementary and junior high, I always felt so ashamed and out of place. I felt like no one understood how hard it was for me to talk and how stuttering was something that I had little to no control over. Once I joined NSA and became part of the stuttering community, it completely rocked my world. I used to view my stutter as a flaw and something that would limit me, but really stuttering is just a part of someone. My stutter will always be a part of me, though it will never define me. I'm so thankful for the people I met through NSA and the stuttering community as a whole because they've really given me a voice I never had, and I'm incredibly grateful. We created Empowering Girls Who Stutter because it is a place where people can meet and girls from all over can come together in sisterhood and unity and just open up and come together through their unique experiences. And we feel like there's so many camps and conferences that you could attend during the summer, but there's little to nothing during the school year. And going through Stutter is so unique that not a lot of people can relate to. And the mission and goal of Empowering Girls Who Stutter is where people can just connect and girls from all over can connect and make valuable friendships and build that sisterhood. I'm hosting a stuttering awareness tennis tournament with Aspen Tennis Academy and the National Stuttering Association this December. This event not only promises thrilling tennis matches, but it also aims to shine a spotlight on the importance of understanding and supporting the individuals who stutter. Through shared compassion and camaraderie, tennis tournaments create a vibrant sense of community, creating connections that extend beyond the tennis court. As Christmas approaches, we decided to add a festive spin to the courts by adding a Christmas theme to our tournament, blending the excitement of the sport with the joyous spirit of the holiday season. With some of the themed activities will include best holiday themed outfit contest, hot chocolate, holiday photo booth, Christmas music, Christmas decorations, and a possible Santa appearance.
Girl, oh my gosh. My jaw is on the ground. You, okay, like, I'm going to fangirl. Sorry, not
You're good.
sorry. You have done so much at
You're so
your
sweet.
age. Like, when I, man, this makes me sound so old, but when I was your age, I was a part of um the teen advisory council, where I was one of the folks there, and I just couldn't imagine just doing anything more. Yet I would speak in front of my classes and just share about stuttering, and I did just a small part. Yet, girl, you are changing lives.
Thank you.
You are making women, girls who stutter, that, like, we are not the common folks who stutter. It's mainly men. And with you starting this and making a safe place for girls who talk just like you and me, I I have just chills, cuz we've chatted for a bit, and you follow me. I am a youth and children's director. I'm a facilities attendant at a gym. I clean houses. Like, I'm a social media person. Like, I started to branch out and do more things when I hit my 20s. But girl, you're like in high school, and you are changing lives.
Thank
I
you so
can't
much.
I can't express just how proud I am of you.
You're so sweet. Thank you. That means a lot. I didn't start. So the first time I ever met someone else who stuttered was I attended Camp Say the summer of 2022, and that was one of the most incredible, and I feel like I've really grown as a person. That one week encompassed a lot of growth in myself. Before I went, I was kind of hesitant to go. I was also hesitant to like say, I'm a person who stutters. I'm an openly stutter, and it was so hard. And when I came there, it was almost intimidating because people were so happy. People were so happy, and people were just openly stuttering, and it was so cool. Like the first time that really like hit home for me was when I walked into the lunchroom and I saw about 100 kids all hanging out and smiling. I'm like, there's no way that everyone in here understands what it's like. It was crazy to me, and I had the most incredible counselor. Her name was Temma, and she isn't a person who stuttered, but she understood the experience and she understood what we were all going through. And she was such an incredible friend and mentor. And I feel like I've really grown from getting to know her, and she's incredible. Um, I've stayed in really good contact with those friends. I met one of my friends I met, she wasn't in my cabin. Her name's Madison. She lives near Fort Lauderdale. We became really close, and I was planning on visiting her last summer, and we booked our tickets and everything. And I've been following the NSA for about 3 years, and I'm the oldest of four kids. So as you can imagine, our summers are always crazy. Um, it's there's no stop to it. Um, So I never really saw as going to a 4-day conference as a possibility. Um, but it just so happened that the conference from this year was only about 40 minutes from her house. So she's a person who stutter, I'm a person who stutters. So we're like, let's go and let's see how it is. And it was it was incredible because what sets NSA apart from every other stuttering association is that you see people who stutter doing incredible things. Like I met people who are going to be nurses, who are going to be scientists, who are going into computer science, who are going to like leadership, like being a principal, which is absolutely amazing. And it's so inspirational to see people who understand what it's like doing incredible things, and it's an incredible place for mentorship and growth. And I met some really incredible friends there. A good handful of them go to Camp Say. Um, and so this summer at camp, I reunited with all my friends, and it was the sweetest thing ever. Um, a couple days into camp, we were at the campfire. I was in the oldest age group, and it was about 10 kids, like a good number of guys, good number of girls. And we were just talking about our experiences. And all the girls were like, oh, yeah, I went through this and it was so hard. And they were just gushing their experiences. And the guys were like, yeah, I went through it. It was fine. And that's when it kind of clicked. That's when it kind of like clicked for me. Um, Being a person who stutters, as a girl is completely different than being a guy because first of all, there's like only like 1/4 of us are girls. Second of all, like girls like it's just different. And so I'm like, I know so many people who stutter. Maybe we can create something for anyone because I know so many people. I know that there's so many people out there who can't attend NSA, who can't attend Friends, who can't attend camp. So our group is accessible to anyone and everyone, and um, and you're more than welcome to join if you'd like to. We have a good number of young adults. We have about 5, and some of them attend NSA.
Man, oh man, I'm just like processing this because when I met my first person that stutters, it was in like speech therapy, but they graduated from speech therapy because they started to be fluent and I did not. And so I never really met someone that talked like me and was my age until going into my 8th grade year that I went to the National Stuttering Association conference in Fort Worth, Texas, and I remember running up to my mom and saying, "Mom, everyone here talks like me, and it's okay." And of course, when my mom listens to this, she might cry, but of course she starts crying because she realized that she was doing everything wrong, where telling me to stop, slow down, breathe, think before you speak. I'm a stubborn person that when folks start to tell me that, I would just get mad. And with being involved with the National Stuttering Association, I had no clue about Camp Say until the documentary came out about Camp Say. And I sobbed watching it because I was extremely involved with Glen Lake Camp, where I was the only stutterer there, and it was scary at first, but it made me step into a leadership role and being fine talking like I do. Everyone around me knows if I start to stutter more, it's a hard speaking day to just give her patience. she'll eventually get the word out, but just be patient. And man, I am shooketh to the core. Just the fact that you were doing this. And I know I keep bringing up your age. The thing is, listeners, she's in high school. I'm 25 and I started to put myself out there a lot more when I was about 22. And I'm just shook. Like, girl, I
That's so sweet.
was
Thank you.
I was telling the um I was telling my boss at the gym. She was on my podcast, the most recent episode. She's the complete opposite of me, and one of her biggest fears was the phone and me answering the phone. And the fact that she was able to be patient with me in my most in my most difficult speaking days just shows that people can be patient. Sometimes we just need to teach them and say, "Hey, you're being mean." Believe me when I tell you this, I have told older people saying, "Hey, you're being mean. Let me speak."
Yeah, I really like what you said um about that. A big moral at KFC is to give people as much time and patience as they need to speak, and that really does go a long way. And we there's a handful of counselors. I think that the like ratio is like for every one staff member that stutters, there's two staff members that don't. So it's a really good number of people, and it's really interesting because when two people who don't stutter are talking, they give each other as much time as and patience, and I feel like that is so beautiful. And yeah, I completely understand where you were coming from. Before, um, I I think when I was younger, I had like fluid in my ears, and I started talking when I was about like 3, and so I had like a really bad lisp up until I was in first grade. So I've been in speech therapy forever, and it was really interesting because I didn't start stuttering until I was in fourth grade. And so once I got that cured, I guess you'd say, um, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and they aren't sure, but I'm pretty sure they're sure about this kind of. I don't know. That I started taking medication, and then like it was like that fast. It was like 2 days later I had a very severe stutter. And it was really hard because I'm by nature a very sorry outgoing, and I like getting my voice out there and being heard, and it was really hard because I was like your usual social butterfly, and I had so many friends, and like I just stopped talking. I sat in the back of the class, and it was so hard when the teacher was asking a question and I was the only one that knew the answer, and no one else knew the answer but me, and I would not raise my hand, and that took a really big toll on my self-esteem and my confidence. And since I was already in the school speech therapy system, I did stuttering therapy, and I have a very strong belief on stuttering therapy, especially in school. First of all, it was very, very, very hard, like you said, seeing other people graduate, and I didn't know anyone who stuttered. Interesting. Um, and so we had about throughout the years we had about 4 people in our group, like at once, and all the kids either had some sort of lisp or something, and they were nice kids, but they all graduated when they were like all right before fifth grade, and the therapist kept on telling us, you gotta graduate before you get to middle school. You gotta graduate. You gotta do XYZ. And being the assertive person I am, I looked up online, what can I do to cure my stutter? And I found say, I found friends, I found NSA. And um I told my therapist, I'm like, look at all that look at everything that I found. And she says, you don't have to go to that. If you just listen to me, I'll fix it, and there's no need to worry about that. So I kind of just shoved that to the back of my mind. And like ever so often, I'd like look up Camp Say and look up all those like, and like it would look fun, but at the same time, I feel like I was a very different person, and I just was like, I'm gonna get it cured. I don't want to associate with those people because I was too afraid to um accept that I was a person who stuttered, and it was a very hard concept for me to understand and grasp. And it was so, I feel like honestly the education system, at least where I'm from, does not do a good job of disclosing private information. Like therapists would like come to, so we have a, at least at my school, at my elementary school, we called it SLED, where it was like a 30-minute period. You could do your homework, you could just like hang out in the classroom. At least in my SLED, um, it would be like the classroom fun time where everyone would get like super close, could build friendships, and it was all like friendship party games and stuff. And I would leave 3 times a week, and it was so hard because she'd have the whole speech group follow around the whole school and pick me up, and she said, Haley, are you ready to go? And it was so hard because everyone in the grade like knew I was going, and everyone in the grade thought I wasn't intelligent because I was going there every day, that I had something wrong with me when I did, but it didn't affect my intellectual or academic capabilities. And I did that, and it was really hard. It was really hard. This happened twice, where there was a fire drill, and we had to. There was a fire drill while I was in my session, and we would walk out, and all the grades, and at least where the therapy room was on the side with all the upper grade levels. So all the, I know it doesn't matter right now, but all the fifth graders and the fourth graders and third graders all saw me with that special group of kids, and I tried to like hide myself, and it was so hard. Like it doesn't have to be that hard. Like I really believe that they should do something different because like even people to this day I still know, like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, I know Hayley, like she used to go to a therapist, like they all know that. And it can really make, especially with like grow with a growing mind, people like, it was really difficult. And I did that up until about, it was the end of sixth grade. I did that in junior high because at the time I'm the oldest of four kids. My mom had like three little kids under the age of 7, and it was so hard to take me to a private therapist when like assessing all their other needs. So I did in junior high, and I'm just gonna be completely honest. It was a million times worse. I would miss my math class of all classes, of course. Um, and as in my junior high, they would send a pass, but so there's all these places you could get the pass to go to. You could go to the counselors, you could go to the principal's office, you could go to the nurse. But and the pass is always like um an orange color, but of course like the speech therapist had to have her own pass, so it was bright yellow, and it was like twice as big, this big. I just said like speech therapy, like big bold letters. And the worst part about it was that the eighth graders at the school were could sign up to be a student aide, so they were the ones delivering the pass to my class every 2 weeks. And the times when we would have substitute, they just give them the pass, and the teacher was like, "Is this you?" And like it was like they should literally do something different about that. It was horrible. And at least the group that I was in, by then all the other kids that graduated with their articulation troubles were already gone. And so the people in my group were people um it's hard to phrase this, but people that weren't in the general education setting with other things, and there were 15 kids in the class, and it was like an hour session, and I would just sit there when she was going over behavioral um s- 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 scenarios, and I would just sit there, and there were kids that um I just kids that had more extreme conditions, and I will say that their conditions are definitely harder than having a stutter, and I respect all of them. And it was really difficult being pulled out of the general education setting like that often. And there were so many times because where we'd have to where one kid wouldn't show up, where the whole group would have to go around the school together to get that kid. And it was so humiliating. And I just say, "Can I just wait here? Can I just wait here?" She says, "No, I'm not allowed to." And I'm like, I know it's a rule, but it's not fair because it breaks confidentiality. And I had a really hard sixth grade year. I just talked to my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, this isn't helping. I'm just sitting in that classroom. It's not helping. It's making me feel more embarrassed and ashamed." And so, um, I stopped doing that. I went to a private therapist outside of school. That really helped. Really did. I did feel kind of, I don't want to say stupid, but I felt very, I don't want to say stupid, but I felt a little more unintelligent, I guess. I guess you'd say, because after my mom would come into the room, and mind you, the room isn't like doesn't look like you're like counseling mental health therapy. It looks like your kindergarten classroom for
Yep.
a seventh grader with like all these blocks and like children's books and whatever. And my mom would come in, and the therapist was really good. She was like really nice. But my mom would come in, and the therapist would completely disregard that I was there. And she's like, "Today, me and Haley worked on this." And I'm like, okay, like it's nice to keep her on the loop, but she says she completely went over every little thing that we did, and said Haley had a hard time saying this word, when like when like stuttering, it's not what words you say really.
Oh
I mean,
no.
you can't have more trouble on some some sounds, but it's not like what word you say. It doesn't really matter. And it was helping. Like I think I was becoming more fluent, but at the same time it was like a bag of bricks, because because the same thing that happened since I was like 8 was you're different, you're special, you have to fix this is the flaw. It was just repeating itself over and over and over again, and it was a bag of bricks. It was really hard. And so then, fast forward to right before COVID. This was like 2 weeks before COVID. Um, we were doing a research project in my English class, and we all got assigned like societal things. Like someone had to do a project over erasing history, and some people did environmental impacts. And I chose, I was very interested in schizophrenia because I thought it was very interesting.
Oh
So
yeah.
I made a presentation. I made a huge poster. It was really cool. It was really cute. For like treatments, I put under medications. I like took like a CVS medication thing and put Skittles inside it, and taped it to the poster board. And so daring, I'm like, I was like eating my Skittles. It was funny. Um, yeah, it was. I put Skittles inside. And people ask like if it was really pills. I'm like, no, I never. Um,
No.
no, I'd be sent home. But so. I gave the presentation, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I stuttered over almost every single word. And it was so humiliating because my teacher was like, "You have to give this presentation or you're gonna get half the credit." And it was a major test grade. And so after I just let go. I'm like, I want to get a good grade here. And so I did it. It was humiliating, but I did get an A. But the hard part was after she gave people Smarties after, and as she was giving me a Smartie, some guy said, "She isn't smart. Don't give her that. She isn't smart. She can't even talk. Don't give her that." And um, I feel like throughout the whole presentation, everyone was just dead silent. And I thought that people are just gonna forget this, it's gonna be okay. And that like was really hard because like stuttering is something that you cannot control. And if at the moment, if if I had the power to like flip a switch and be like, it's off today, I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult. And I feel like there's such a stigma. And um, then during COVID, I didn't talk to anyone really. I talked to my parents, but like you know what I mean? It's just like it's different.
Yeah.
And then eighth grade year, um, was just it was just eighth grade, and like it was my stutter got a little more severe since I hadn't been talking to anyone. And I remember the first time I noticed that it was like really it was harder was that I was going on a bike ride with one of my friends, and I was in the front, and she asked me a question, and like I'm like, and I started to stutter. I wasn't trying to because at the moment I was hiding it from like almost all my friends, and it was such a burden. I was blocking so hard. I'm like, when was this ever so hard? Like I feel like COVID like changed people's like lives like in every single way. And so and to make things worse, my eighth grade math teacher was named Mr. Stuttered. Like
Bro.
it was spelled Studdard. So it's not like spelled like that, but like it sounds like it. Stuttered.
Oh my gosh, I can just think so many jokes.
Yeah. And it was really interesting. My English teacher, I was taking honors English, so it was kind of like a harder class, and I wrote this poem, and it was the most beautiful poem in my opinion. It was so pretty. It was about Christmas, and so my teacher um gave me a 68, and so I tried to debate it with her, and it was over like the most um tiniest things that didn't matter, and like things like what an illusion was, what like a biblical reference was, and then I later defined it to her in like some like Oxford definition dictionary, and it completely aligned with what I wrote. So I told my mom, she's like, yeah, that was the most beautiful poem ever. You're not getting a 68. So my mom called her on the phone, and they disputed it, and she apparently ended up being wrong of what it meant in the Oxford dictionary. But then she ended up saying, I'm so sorry. And then she started crying on the phone. And she's like, um, also want to say that I'm so impressed by Hayley. My son has a stutter, and she is so confident in everything that she does, and she is so adamant about her academics. And my son is just really holds him back. And then a couple of weeks later, I went to her class because I missed a day. I had to make up a test, and her son was in there because he was in sixth grade at the time, and it was really funny. She was like, I walked in, um, and she's like, "Oh, Caden, look, it's Hayley." I'm like, "Hi," and um, and so I wasn't part of any stutter organization, so um didn't. If I was, I would definitely say, "Oh, this is what I'm part of. You should really do it." But I emailed her, and she was also not the nicest person. She wasn't. And like, I emailed her like a year ago, and I was like, "Hey, I go to this really cool summer camp. It's honestly life changing." I think I turned to this like long email and included other things like friends and to say if they weren't able to make those dates. Long email took like 30 minutes to write. She responded with, "Sorry, me and Kaden aren't interested." And I'm like, okay. First of all, you're an English teacher. She didn't even add a period. I'm like, first of all, you're an English teacher. Um, but you know what? Um, but it's funny because um, I'll get to this later, but I see him at school, um and I think I'm going to like start up a conversation with him somehow by like complimenting him and then like saying, "Oh, do you have a stutter?" And then in a nice way, obviously. And and starting it from there and like introducing him to like my school club and NSA and everything. But yeah, and then sorry, I'm giving the whole life story here.
Oh, girl, I love it because your story, some of it aligns with mine because I've gone through the same thing. So,
um, freshman year, I made the tennis team. That was going great. But then later on to freshman year, there were some like there were some like rumors about some things, not just about me, but like just about other people, and then people circled it back to my friends and then to me, and then I was being associated with things that weren't even true and weren't even true about my friends, and like I just faced like and my some people faced a lot of bullying, and it was really difficult, and it was people can be really mean, like
mhm.
people, and I feel like people are only mean to you about things you can't control if they're only uh, insecure about themselves, because they would never make fun of you for something that you can't control unless they're insecure about themselves because they have nothing else to do. Um, that was really 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 difficult, and um, my stutter got to a peak, and I was like, this is so hard. Why does it have to be so hard? No one else knows what, no one else understands. Like no one else has to go through this. So I looked up Camp Say. I hadn't talked to my mom about it in years. And so I was in the car, I'm like, Mom, can I go? And she says, oh, what are the dates? And she says, sure, you can go. And I thought it was gonna be this whole thing of like, I don't know, maybe, but she's like, sure, you can go. And I was so hesitant going, so hesitant. And my first interaction from anyone in the Southern community was with Julia Leone. And let me say, if you're watching this, you're so, so, so nice. Like, you, I will say, I was very intimidated by how happy you were, but you like light up a room and say so happy to have you. Um, but like that like Zoom call was so weird to me because when I was speaking, she had her full attention towards me and what I was saying, and she wasn't interrupting me. She wanted to finish my sentences, and it was so weird. At first, it felt wrong, but it was so nice having someone that like understood. And even though she isn't a person who stutters, she understood what it is like, and she was so 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 nice. And I will say, driving to Camp Stay was very intimidating. It was also very intimidating and kind of scary seeing how those like 1 year best friend reuniting. Like it was so cool also. Like I'm like there's so many people here, and I'll already explain my experiences. It was absolutely incredible. And I will say post camp depression is so real. Like it really is.
Yes.
So real. Um And then that school year, I was going into my sophomore year. I did a very risky thing that my fourth grade self would say. Very, very risky. I told all my teachers that I was a person who stuttered and that I didn't have any effect on my academic or intellectual intelligence. And I didn't have a 504. I had one since I was like young for it. But I feel like teachers often just like look at it and just like, oh, okay, they have to look at it. I feel like teachers would always call on me. I'm like, you're not supposed to, but and I feel like if you when you address something like that, it not only does it show your confidence, but it shows that you are dedicated to that class and what they have to teach you. And I got better grades, two, I got better relationships with my teachers, and three, I had so much more confidence. And it was really funny. Um, I was taking um, a AP psychology class, and we had this disorder project, and um, my teacher assigned me to do stuttering, and so I made a project of over stuttering. I didn't have to present it, but it was slideshow. It was good. and then I submitted it, and then I added like treatments. I added Camp Say, and I put some photos in there, and then she commented because you know how you kind of like you can like comment on Canvas like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Yep, it's me."
Oh.
Yeah, and I got 100, so yeah, um, and so then mm, and there were a couple times where we had presentations where I would just opt out and present in private because I feel like no one experience can make you feel completely different about something that you are super insecure about. So I was okay with like disclosing, but I still really don't feel as comfortable disclosing to like a whole group of people that I've known for years that because I feel like I don't know. Um I wasn't ready, so I just did a couple presentations in private. And my teachers were all super understanding, and it was great. Um, and then this year, as I explained, I went to the NSA conference with my friend. Honestly, I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
It was so cool because I follow some like people on Instagram, like Mark Winsky. It was so cool seeing him in person.
I want to
Um,
meet him so
he's so nice.
badly.
He's so nice. I met amazing people, and like people were so happy, and it was so cool because we were at a hotel, and so there are some people there who weren't part of NSA, but everyone who was part of the NSA was wearing a little lanyard, and it was so cool because you weren't afraid. Like you could just like walk up to someone your age who had a lanyard and be like, "Hey, I'm a person who stutters. You're a person who stutters. Now we're best friends. Let's go hang out." It was it was awesome. It was so cool. And the best thing is that you didn't have to say your name because it was already on your name tag. So and and the last night there's I guess you'd call it like a gala dance type thing. Um
Yes.
it's so fun. There's a photo booth and I met some really amazing people. It's really fun and you get to have a fancy dinner and I also met a lot of siblings who were siblings of people who stuttered. And it was really interesting because they had the same respect as they had the same respect as someone who stuttered, and it was so cool. Like I feel like that takes a lot in a person to like accept something that they don't have and have that much like love and kindness. And it's incredible. And so um I met someone at my school who stuttered the my sophomore year, and we were talking. I feel like that campsite year really changed my life, honestly. I feel like I was a different person, kind of. Not all the way, but he was saying how hard it was going through all these years having a stutter, and for him, he just had so he's a year younger than me. He started stuttering when he moved here when he was in eighth grade, and he was saying how hard it was, and how meeting someone else who understands completely was so helped a lot. And I'm like, and then it just clicks. I'm like, why does it have to be this hard? There's I'm like, this affects in my head. I say this a lot. I'm like, this affects like 1% of the population, which is 1 out of 100. And if there's over 2,000 people in my school, there's bound to be some people who stutter. And so, we like got in contact with our school speech therapist. She's our sponsor. Um, and we have about 12 people, and it's really awesome. And um, yeah, and it's really awesome getting to like meet with other people, and they're really nice, but they definitely aren't the people that I'd hang out with on the weekends. But it's really, but like it's really nice, like getting to like come together and like be a part of something, and like they're all really sweet, and it's really cool seeing them like meet. Like it's so like, I saw one time this guy like walked in, who's kind of like he was not the most outgoing person. He sat down and then he heard someone stutter. He's like, "Whoa." It's so like, whoa, that's crazy.
Whoa.
Whoa, this is crazy. Um, and then I went to NSA. That was awesome. And then, one moment, some water. Um, That was incredible. And by then, went to NSA, and then, well, my hair. Went to NSA, and then uh 3 weeks after that, I went back to camp. That was the best. That was the best. Like that first day, because I arrived late. I arrived a day late because I played tennis and we had our varsity tryout, so I couldn't miss that. But it was so heartwarming. Like I walked in because I walked in late, and people were all around. And when people saw me, everyone was just running towards me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then, a couple of my friends were kind of the like, because the camp is like obviously really big, and a couple people were at the pool, and so they thought I was arriving on Wednesday because the way our school does it is that there's 3 days to make varsity, 4 people make it every day, so there's 12 girls in varsity, and I was anticipating making it on Wednesday, but I made it on Monday, and so they thought I was coming on Wednesday. So I was waving, and then I saw one of my friends, and her name is Olivia, and if you're watching this, Olivia, hello. Um, so I saw her, and we just like smashed into each other, and we like rolled to the ground. It was so fun. Um, yeah, and it was incredible, and I met so many other people who stuttered. A lot of like girls, like a lot of new people came this year, and um, in past years, I've told my teachers in person that I stuttered, and honestly, that it's really hard. So my counselor this year, her name is Peyton. If you're watching this, hello, you're amazing. She she's not a person who stutters, but she completely understands the experience, and she was such an incredible mentor and friend. I believe she's training to become a clinical SLP. Anyway, she was incredible. Um, so she helped me draft a letter to my teachers, like an email, and it
Oh,
was it was really nice, um, getting to learn from her, and it was the best. I also got really great responses from all of them, and it was short and sweet, and it was awesome. And then after camp, I was just thinking like, dang, like NSA is in like 11 months, camp is in a year. Like there's nothing, so it's like that's gonna be like there's nothing upcoming at all. I'm not gonna see anyone forever. And so I'm like, I know so many people who stutter. Like, why can't like we create something like that's like for anyone that can come together, anyone that can come and just join. And so I'm not sure if you have heard of her. Her name's Kaya. Her Instagram account is Kaya Sade. Um,
I think so. I'm not sure.
okay. Well, I first start off by saying that Kaya is absolutely amazing. Um, she's a person who stutters. She hosts a Stuttering Awareness Week at our school every year. She had Amanda Mamona fly out to give a like concert at her school during the Stuttering Awareness Week. She won Teen Advocate of the Year award by the NSA. She's incredible. Um, so we got in contact a couple months ago on Instagram. I just reached out to her asking if she was part of any stuttering organizations. She says that she goes to this like um stuttering management program somewhere up north. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it. And sorry. From there, we we got to know each other a little better over the couple months. Like I text her every so often. She texts me, and so I had this idea. I asked her, since she has an incredible platform, if she'd be up for it. That I'd be the vice president. She'd be the vice the no. I'd be the vice president. She'd be no. Sorry. I would be the president. She would be the vice president of a group called Empowering Girls Who Stutter, and from there we got I got some of my friends. She got some of her friends, and we created a council. I believe we have 6 other members. We have Kai as our vice president. I'm the president. Jolie Deichman is our secretary. Hazel Johnson is our advocacy chair. Rowan is our event coordinator. Ariana is our chairwoman, and Kelsey's our graphic designer. So we have a good number of girls, and they're all ages um 15 to 18, and it's so fun getting to like chat with them and getting to know all of them better. Um, it's a really great group of girls, and we from there we had our first meeting, and that's when NSA reached out to us asking if we'd want to be under them somewhat. So as of right now, we're under them, and it's been incredible because they've brought in so many new people, so many more new people, and it's awesome. And a couple months ago, one of my friends, he held a well, provide some background information. His his dad has Alzheimer's, so he's the president of his school's um youth youth against Alzheimer's movement club. So him and the our local tennis academy, Aspen Tennis Academy, hosted a tennis tournament, and they raised a lot of funding. So I was talking to my tennis coach. Her name's Ashley. She's incredible. She's an incredible coach and mentor. And she said that she'd love to host a tournament and spread awareness and light upon stuttering. And we are hosting that December 9th. If anyone wants to come in Fulshire, Texas, at Jordan High School, more information and details will be on the NSA's link in their Instagram bio, and there's going to be um, a video of me talking about it posted soon. So stay updated about that. Um, and we're hosting a tennis tournament. We decided to add a holiday twist to it, and Santa might be there and his elves. So, um, and we're having like outfit contest, and we're doing women's doubles because um, Ashley is has an incredible women's team, and we're doing developmental um, middle school tournament. So that's where the players who are just beginning their tennis journey have an opportunity to learn how to score and how to do all these like the important basics of playing tournament. And a lot of my high school friends are going to be receiving volunteer hours from helping them learn how to keep score. And we have a handful of sponsors who are sponsoring us, and we're having it's gonna be a really great time, and anyone is invited to come. Um, and the executive director of the NSA and what is she? She's and the event coordinator are flying out here to see it, and it's gonna be an incredible opportunity. So if anyone wants to come support stuttering or come support our athletes, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, so and then um for me, I guess like I'm a junior right now. I am wanting to go to Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, and major in communication disorders and minor in early childhood development. And for the longest time, I wanted to follow my dad's footsteps and become a financial advisor. But I'm taking a financial class at school right now, and let me just say, it is the hardest A I've ever done. It is very hard. And so I realized that I am not cut out to be sitting in an office the first 10 years of my life. So,
Same.
uh, yeah, no, I'm such a people person. I feel like, um, I feel like I'm so passionate about stuttering and the whole experience of it. And I heard about this place called AIS, the American Institute for Stuttering. And what it is, it's a type of therapy that you go to if you had anxiety or something, but it's like that, but geared towards the experiences of people who stutter. And I really am interested in becoming a clinician for them. And I know that a handful of their therapists are people who stutter. And I feel like that's even better because they're able to relate to their clients. And I feel like if I was growing up with like and learning from a therapist who stutters, who's gone through the same experiences, that would have helped me so much more than listening to someone who did stutter, who was just telling me all this advice that I had to use and didn't know how to. Um, and I would I'm wanting to go to school and then after my undergrad serve an 18-month mission for my church. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly known as Mormon, but we prefer to be called by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Man, oh man. I'm just so I want to go back and your when you spoke about school speech therapy. Let me tell you, I feel that on a spiritual level that I've reached out to my friends, my church friends, people that I know that are school speech therapists, and I've asked them saying, why is the school speech therapist, like, why do they suck at their job? Like, why do they not know a single thing about stuttering? And they had to explain to me that they are learning every communication disorder, that stuttering has been put on just the burner. This has been like this for God, what just it has been like this for years, absolute years. Where now I have a lot of friends in different fields that they were telling me now there is a switch where if you want to focus on stuttering, that's what you will learn. And within what school speech therapist taught, I've been in years of school speech therapist. I had one that would stop me every time I stuttered on a word, and she would have me repeat the word that I just said. And so I understand that on a spiritual level. I have a friend, a youth pastor, a youth director friend that I found through Women in Youth Ministry, that she actually wrote, I think it's her thesis, dissertation, some big word after going to like college. Gabby, I am sorry. You've told me this multiple times. I don't know the name, but she wrote about stuttering and how there needs to be a respect on, you can't cure stuttering. Like, you could go a period of time and not stutter, but it will come back. But there needs to be also a mental health therapist within that, because like with what you said, we have been taught most of our lives that stuttering is bad, that if you do this you suck, or you are weird, or
Preach.
you you are just that girl that talks weird. And I didn't realize this until I got to college, where I stopped going to my private therapist, and I signed myself up for mental health therapy, because being a freshman in college, there's a lot. And I I was talking to my therapist and she asked me saying, "So tell me about stuttering." And so I did, and she then shares with me that her parents work with the brain. They are basically, from what I remember, they are brain surgeons. And so she knows a lot about the brain because of her folks. And she expressed to me, and she bluntly said this, and I was offended at first. She said, "You need to learn how to love the way you talk before you can be fine speaking." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And it took years of therapy, of just mental health therapy, to be basically retaught on just how I view myself and how I view myself as a person who stutters. And going on with, and you should be very, very proud. I listened to everything you said. Going on with what you mentioned about the comment that your school speech therapist said, that these support groups are nothing. You need to learn this. As what I'd like to say in the most clean way, she is a poopy head. She is a booger eater. Like, oh my gosh, if her declining that kept you from finding support back then, but you were able to find that support as you got older, and you took that leap of faith and said, "Mom, I want to go to this camp." And I call it the holy cow leap of faith, where you're on a cliff, and then you see a cow and you just jump and you're like, "Holy cow!" Like, that was the leap of faith where it completely changed your life. Where
It did.
now
It
you
did.
you can be the inspiration for people who are younger. You can teach them, saying, "Hey, like, this is what I did to help me. You should get involved because it will make the idea of speaking less sucky because you have a support system." And going on with the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I when we were talking, I mentioned that I've never had someone on my podcast. My brain is going too
You're
fast
good.
with my mouth. I have never had someone from that church on my podcast. So, and I'm not going to grill you. I'm not going to say you're wrong. No, like, nobody got time for that. I just simply just want to ask, how has it been being a person who stutters and being a person who attends the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints church?
I feel like it's definitely an experience. Yeah, in my perspective, it has helped in a lot of ways, and in some ways, it's been a little difficult. I'll first say about the ways that it's been a little difficult is that this is more in Utah, but Um, like the whole goal of like the whole like, I feel like there's an underlying thing that the goal of everyone is to be the perfect Mormon family. And
Mhm.
it's really difficult, especially like I think it was like difficult for my whole family, like to be like it's difficult for anyone to like open up to their hardships and whatever. It's hard for my family to be like, yep, our daughter is like this. They can control it. So it was really hard for me, at least. But it doesn't compare to the amount of love that I feel when I am at church because you're always going to be judged for your problems or whatever you go through, wherever you are in life. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but like it's it's true. And there's always going to be people out there who think you're annoying, who think you're unworthy, who whatever. And really, those people at the end of the day aren't the people that you want to associate with. So why are you letting them waste your time? Because you could be doing such better things. And I will say that I've met some of my best friends through my church, but at the same time, I've encountered some people who aren't the nicest, um who should who could be and should be in a better place, who I'm sure that are going through their own experiences um on their own. And I know that this isn't really about my church, but I'm gonna draw it back to it. But my counselor at Camp Say, Tema, she said I think that was my first night, she said that even though we all have the same experience, we all understand it's important to meet people where they're at, meaning that everyone comes from a different walk of life, everyone experiences different things, and even though we all share this common thing, we've gone through it differently. And I feel like that pertains to my church a lot, where everyone believes these set of values, but everyone follows them differently. Like a big thing in my church is to serve a mission, but not everyone serves a mission. Like maybe like 3 out of 4 people, and definitely that 1 out of 4 person isn't judged. May be judged by some people, but not really. Um, and I feel like I've grown throughout the years. Am I metaphorically and physically and especially spiritually? And I know that my the Christian faith is true and it's very strong in myself. And and so I was saying before, um, and when people, especially in religion, aren't necessarily following what they say that they believe, it is there's no place for myself or anyone else to judge them because they're still on that journey of accepting and just coming to terms with Jesus Christ. Because at the end of the day, all Christians believe in Jesus Christ, and I have right here and in the Bible. And like some people, like myself, may have the Book of Mormon and the Bible um and to, I think you might ask this. The Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ, but of events that took place in the Americas. It's similar to the Bible, but um, different events, and um, it's a whole rabbit hole of what it's about. But um,
Yeah.
but if you're ever interested, you can buy a Book of Mormon. And I will say the Book of Mormon play is not endorsed. We don't like it. We
Yeah.
don't like it. It's no bueno. Um, but yeah, I feel like wherever you are, there's going to be people that are rude, that like you said, are poopy heads and
Yeah.
poopy heads, and you got to find that group of people that understand. And I feel like I have that. There's 5 girls in my area, and I feel like I connect with them so well on a different level. And it's really sweet because they follow the Empowering Girls Who Stutter account. Yes, it's so nice. So I love them, and yeah, there are a handful of people in my church who like I that are kind of mean. Um, and they're on their own journey to accepting the God, and um I shouldn't judge them because I was on my journey at one time and it was hard stuttering and spiritually. So yeah.
Thank you so, so much for sharing that because with my background, I don't know if you know this. I have my bachelor's of arts in biblical studies, and I've taken a class about different American churches, and my professor talked about Jesus Christ of the Latter Day Saints Church, and he bluntly said that yes, some people think this is a cult, yet at yeah, and other people think we are a cult. At the end of the day, we just need to be our own and just live life and not focus on other people. We need to support them and encourage them and not bring them down about what they believe in. And that has really stood on the way that I live my life because I just have questions and I just want to learn more about different sides of just church, just and it is so interesting that you also have a Bible too, like that. So is and I know I may sound very dumb. I promise you I just have questions,
No, you're good.
and if you don't feel comfortable, it's completely fine. We can just go to the next thing. But is it normal for people who are involved in Jesus Christ of the Latter Day Saints Church, is it normal for them to also have a Bible?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's we value it to the same equivalent as the Book of Mormon. Um, so for high schoolers, it I will say this, it is completely optional. Um, but everyone does it. So there's this thing called seminary. The It's basically early morning Bible study, and you get there at 5:55, and you're there for a very long time, considering that early in the morning before school, about like 15 minutes, and every semester. So there is what we studied my freshman year was Doctrine and Covenants, and then last year was the Old and New Testament of the Bible. This year is the Book of Mormon, and next my senior year is a Pearl of Great Price. So they're all broken up into 4 years. And the college I want to go to is called BYU, and they value so it's ran by the church, but I will say it's very hard to get into. Um, it it is top 20 in the U.S. and I feel like it does not get as much credit as it should because it's an incredible university. They value your seminary grades is what we call the class just as high as they do your school grades. Um, and we have a final. It's not hard to get 100. It's just like the willpower to get up every morning is really hard, and so um, every day you get so if you have perfect attendance you get 100, and then you have a final exam at the end of each semester. We have hours like in 2 weeks. It's not hard. um, my grade in seminary last semester was 98. You take the test and it kind of like lowers your grade, but like it's over everything you've done. It's it's kind of hard, I guess. It's not hard, but like you have to like do some like searching. Um, it's it's valuable though. And seminary is like honestly like some days it's kind of like why am I here? But some days
Yeah.
it's really fun because you get to be in a classroom full of people your age and who all believe in Jesus Christ, and it's awesome. And it's funny. The tennis tournament I'm hosting, the head coach who's helping me with it is my seminary teacher. So I see her every single day, and we get to talk about it. She's incredible, and she has a one of the most divine testimonies I've ever heard. So she's incredible. Um, yeah, we value it just as much as the Book of Mormon. It's because what it is another testament of Jesus Christ. So
That is very, very cool. And thank you for answering my questions, because I've asked people questions, because my sister's husband is a ex Jehovah Witness, and so conversations about faith, about God, is very interesting. I find it very interesting, and I try not to have it in a argumentative, because I'm not going to prove a point. I
mm,
just want to like hear your side and just learn more. And I just thank you for being patient with
of
me.
course, of course.
So, as we wrap up, what is one thing you can say to the fluent community that, yeah, what is one thing you can say to the fluent community about stuttering?
Okay, there's a lot, but to like shorten down to like a good like 90 seconds. I will say that stuttering is not a one size fits all, meaning that what stuttering can look like on Sam might not look the same on Jill, meaning that Sam might have more blocking when Jill has more repetitions. It does not mean that Sam has a stutter and Jill doesn't. It does not mean that Jill, since Jill has a less present stutter, that he isn't that he's blocking more because for me, I feel like um at school I'm a very covert sometimes. I know I hate it, but like sometimes I'm very covert and like I've told people, yeah, they're like, "Oh, so you don't stutter anymore." I'm like, "I do. I'm right now, but
Yeah.
you aren't seeing it. I'm right now, but you aren't seeing it." And I feel like people don't also it's like really shocked me. People don't know what a block is. Like I was like, "Get real," but okay. Um,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Get real."
Mhm.
But yeah, just be patient. That's like the biggest thing, and it really does go a long way. And it doesn't have to matter if someone takes an extra 2 seconds for what they want to say. It if you are a kind enough friend or family member or peer, you will give them the extra 2 seconds that they need because if they can handle facing this 24/7, if they can if they have to take their time and they have to face this and have these very hard and annoying blocks every time they speak, you can wait an extra 3 seconds. It's not that hard because if you think about it, they're doing most of the work. You just have to listen and be nice and don't and like Samantha said, don't be a poopy head. So yeah,
Don't be a poopy head. That needs to be on a shirt.
yeah.
Um,
I think you know what also has to be on a shirt. Fluency is overrated. So I
oh
think both.
yes.
I
Yes.
think that we should start like a shop. This is like poopy head fluency is overrated or something.
I know someone that has a heat press that makes shirts. It's the boutique that I've been helping. She also has a heat press for shirts. So,
We should definitely do it.
hmm.
Don't be like a boo head.
Oh man. But thank you so much for being on my podcast, and thank thank you for just changing lives.
You're so
Be
sweet. Thank you.
because if you think about it, your younger self is thanking you right now. And
I
it
made um I made a reel on the Empowering Girls Who Stutter account. I run it alongside our advocacy chair, Hazel, and other members. You can watch it when you're done with this if you'd like.
oh, of course.
It's like I can't sing, but basically it's saying it's like a little background song, and there's like it made me think of you, and it's like me like running to my friend who also stutters and like reuniting. It's kind of confusing at first, but it's really good meaning. And then after that, it does a little break in the music, and then it's my like younger self. I'm like three. I'm like walking down the staircase like this. I look so cute, and it says it made me think of you. And I said, so the opening line is, when I'm hard on myself because I stutter for like 5 seconds, and it says, I realize I'm hurting her, and then it breaks again with me like smiling and being like stuttering is okay. So you can watch it if you'd like after.
Absolutely. Oh man, that is just beautiful.
Hmm.
I oh man, I am one of your biggest
You're so sweet. Thank
leaders
you.
cuz for the longest time I felt so alone because I wanted to be more involved with church camp, and church camp was at the same time as the stuttering conference, so I would always have to choose each year, and I decided to stop going to the conferences because I can't afford it. And just hearing someone that is changing lives, like, it makes me so happy. And I just, man, I'm a loss of words, and that is
I think
rare
that
because
I think that since you have this incredible platform and your own Instagram account with saying Southern Christian, I feel like that first of all it breaks a lot of walls down and sets you apart from the rest. And this platform is incredible. And thank you for having me on here because it means a lot. And what you said was beautiful, and I can completely relate. And knowing other people that stutter is it completely rocks your world. So thank you for having me on here. And you're also doing incredible things. Um, so yeah, it's awesome.
thank you so much. I always get so awkward after a podcast because I'm like, how do I end it? Like, because like most people just end it. The other ones like have a phrase. I'm just going to stop recording.